Hello, hello, hello. I'm back. Welcome back, all my love bugs. I'm joined today with Whitley from Smile from Baltimore, and we are discussing everything women's health. In October, we celebrate both domestic violence and breast cancer awareness month. So I wanted to just bring awareness today of the importance of good physical and emotional well-being. So I'm gonna let Whitney explain her organization, which keys into all of this good stuff that we're going to talk about today.
Okay, so I have a nonprofit with my cousin Tori. She's not here today. And our nonprofit is called Smiles. Smiles stands for Showing Mental Illness, Love and Enlightenment. And we started this organization because I suffer from mental health issues. I suffer from depression. And Tori is on the other side where she doesn't suffer from mental health issues. Her mom did. And Tori was on the side where she had to be the person taking care of somebody and she didn't fully understand it, you know. So that's how we got started. And a lot of times, um, when you have to watch somebody in your family suffer from mental health issues and you never went through a depression or an anxiety attack, you kind of don't understand and you think that they can just shake it off.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But then after time goes on, years, you really look and be like, wow, like they really can't shake this off. Like, and it's really hard to take care of somebody who's going through something that you never been through.
Yeah, I understand that because I grew up with my mom having a mental illness. Well, she has Asperger, so a spectrum of autism. So me being young growing up, I didn't understand like why she wasn't able to take care of us. I didn't learn like later in life like the real reason why and about her illness more in depth. But growing up, like I just didn't understand. Like it didn't like hit me. So now I am that child taking care of the parent, like making sure she's okay, making sure she's doing everything because she's high functioning with most people with Asperger are very high functioning adults anyway. They just lack that social emotional side. So for the most part, she read, write, function, do everything independently. It's just making sure that she stay on top of it. So I completely understand that.
So, what were some of the barriers that you had to go through?
Um, well, not having a mother for one because with her having the mental illness, she wasn't able to take care of me. Um, Not having most of us grow up with a mother. Did not grow up with a mother. I grew up with my dad. So lacking that emotional piece of my life throughout my whole life was that barrier that I had to deal with because later on that trickled on into my relationships and all of that stuff because like I would always be told, oh, you act just like a dude, like you don't care. Like and in reality I didn't because I grew up in a house full of guys, my dad and my brother. So it's like I took on whatever I saw them do and say. So that part, my relationships took a hit in a big way. And I think I didn't realize that until a couple of years ago when I had to do marital counseling and the therapist had like she went deep and I was like, wait a minute, why are we talking about this? And she was like, because we have to talk about this because it's something about this is causing you to be like this.
Right.
So when we start talking about like the lack of relationship with my mom, my upbringing, and I really like broke down for the first time because I don't cry. I'm like, what? I did not know like all this time that was affecting me in that way. So I think that was a big barrier to me, like just emotional connections with other people.
So I'm glad that you brought that up. Do you think that in our community, we have a lot of issues with love and affection because of our upbringing?
Oh, definitely.
And there are a lot of things that we suffer from that we don't even know because we never healed from it.
Definitely.
You get what I'm saying? Like she had to dig deep.
And most of us are scared to go to a therapist to dig deep.
Exactly.
Because we don't want to like have that reality like in our face, like, okay, this is why I'm like dealing with this, or this is why I feel what I feel. Like we don't want to like come face to face to that, because then we have to really like tackle that, and most of us don't know how to tackle that.
Right. But that's the thing. Like a lot of us are still holding on to things from our childhood. And it's like we need to get that out so we can heal from it.
Right.
And even like myself recently, like I was going through something major. And I don't even think my father really know, but I would express myself to my mother. And I was going through missing growing up with a father.
Mm-hmm.
My father went to jail from the time I was 5 up until 12, the 7th grade. My dad came home, everything was good for about a month, and you know, he got married, but it still wasn't, he went on about his way with his family, and I would see him, I would talk to him, but it still wasn't that
right.
daughter-daddy connection,
right.
You know? And as a grown woman, I struggled with being upset because I didn't have that father growing up.
So
I didn't have a male role model.
So did you have a conversation with him about this?
So just recently I wanted to, but we went on a date, but my little sister was there and I didn't think that it was all the way appropriate. But I did get to talk to him about some other things that I wanted to discuss. About dating, just like I'm saying, like I shouldn't be talking to my father about dating at 32.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying? But
better late than never.
That's what I learned.
Yeah, right.
That's what I'm learning. I'm learning to, it's not too late.
Right.
Like stop crying about, oh, I didn't grow up with a father.
Right.
You know,
right.
Make time now. Oh,
right.
Me and my father didn't go out or have dates. Do it now.
Right.
So I called my father like, yeah, can we do this? Can we do that?
Right.
And things are getting better.
And the same thing with my mom. Like it took me a while to like come out of that whole like, oh, we didn't do this, we didn't do that. And I think once I had kids, that what brought me around, because I'm like, okay, I missed out on having this relationship with her, but that doesn't mean they have to miss out with having this relationship with her. So that's what really had me. And her getting diagnosed with cancer is what did it. Wow. Because it was almost like, okay, like I was so angry all this time, and now reality had hit. Like, okay, maybe she might not be around. Like, all right, let me like put all of this on the back, on the side for right now, and face what's going on right now. And I think that's what pushed us closer together. We don't have that no have a relationship. Absolutely. So, and that's all I could like ask for. My kids, they adore their grandmother. That's all I ask for. They see a different person than what I have saw growing up. So
absolutely. And see, that's all it's about, like healing from that and moving forward. And to be honest, I think that my mother has a better relationship with her grandkids.
Yeah,
that's how me and her grew up. You know what I mean? And I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's all you can, because it's like, okay, like, and then we don't never know what's going on with them. Like putting back to women's health. Like us women in general, we hold so much in. We take on so much BS, and we don't have an outlet to let just let all of that go, and then we keep on carrying around all this baggage, all of this pain, adding more on, adding it on until one day we just bust. And I think that happened to me probably a couple of days ago, because I was sharing with you, like, I lost my father 2 weeks ago, and I'm not an emotional type of person. So initially when it happened, I almost died. Like, I was daddy's girl. Like, I had a completely different relationship with my father than most girls our age grew up having. So I had my dad. He was there. So I think, like, reality hit me a couple of days ago, because I'm sitting there. I got all these emotions, like, just swirling around from other stuff that was going on prior to his death. And then I'm thinking about that, thinking about this. I'm about to open up a business. Like, it's like all this stuff is just happening, and it just hit me. And then I just lost it, like, completely. Like, leave me the hell alone. I don't want to be bothered. I need time to process this. And I think we need to take that time. Like, I read something, what was it? It said, I read something somewhere that both breast cancer and domestic violence are cancers of sorts. Both will eat away at your quality of life and seek to destroy you, which I thought was interesting, because I am a domestic violence survivor. And like you said, with the healing piece, I think it took me years to, like, heal from that. Like, it took me even longer to forgive my abuser, which I think a lot of us, we struggle with. It took me even longer to forgive myself, because it's like you blame yourself for putting yourself in that situation. You blame yourself for not getting yourself out of that situation sooner. You blame yourself for because with me, like, it seemed like I lost everything: my self-respect, financial loss. I lost friendships, family. Like, it's just like everything got taken away from me, and I blame myself for that for the longest time. And I think us not sitting there and really, like you said, like, processing it, trying to heal from it, like, that can really take a toll on you. And I know now, looking back, I know how much of a toll it took on me, just like a cancer. So it's like, that's why I wanted to do this show today. October, we celebrate both of these awareness, and it surrounds women. Not saying that men don't go through breast cancer or domestic violence, but we all know women go through it more. So with our mental health, just wanted to share, like, what can we do as women? I know I promote self-care all the time. Like, that's my number one thing. Like, self-care is so important to me. I used to designate, like, one day a week, like, Fridays were my day before I got real busy in my business. And now, like, Sundays are my day. But, like, I will, like you said, they just shut my phones off. Like, just sit there and read, or, I don't know, sit in my pajamas and do absolutely nothing that whole day.
So I want to ask you two questions.
Okay.
The first question is, how long were you in your domestic violence situation?
7 years.
7 years. Why do you think that you accepted it in that long?
I think at that time, at that time I accepted it because I thought that person he cared for me. He was the only person that was going to be there for me. He made it so that he made me believe that if I would have left him, I would have no one or nobody. At that time, I think I was like 23 and I already had 3 kids. So it was like I was dependent on him financially. And that was the biggest part of me staying, because I didn't work. Like, he took care of me and my 2 kids at the time that was not biologically his. And I was in college, so it was like I needed him to support me. So that was the biggest reason why I stayed. And then after that, it was just like, I don't know.
And I think a lot of women do that.
Yeah.
A lot of women do that. When it's a domestic violence situation, a lot of the times that man is financially supporting the family,
Right.
you know. And another word that you, something that you mentioned, that's mental abuse.
Yeah.
When, you know, they use those type of phrases like, you know, nobody else is going to love you. Ain't nobody going to want you with 3 kids.
Yeah, I heard that,
you know,
all the time.
And you know, when you're going through that, you kind of believe it, you know, because that person is brainwashing you. It's mental
for my
abuse.
self-esteem,
You know
all
what
the
I
way
mean?
down. Like, I did not think I was pretty because he made me not believe I was pretty. And he had me believing I wasn't smart, I wasn't intelligent, I couldn't do anything, nothing, I was nothing. Like, I believed that for the longest time.
Why do you think we become powerless?
Because we allow ourselves to become powerless.
And did you grow up witnessing domestic violence?
No, that's the crazy thing.
That's what I want to know. So
that's the crazy thing.
Because I'm a domestic violence survivor as well. I don't talk about it much, but I'm a survivor, and I was in it for about 6 years. And sometimes I used to think, like, maybe if I grew up with my dad in my life, a male, no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I used to beat myself up, like, maybe if I had a male role model around, or I had men in my family, that would have never happened. That would have never happened. And now I get to talk to someone who you grew up with your dad. You grew up with guys in your family too, right?
Yeah.
And you know,
but it's like I think I was at an event like a week or two ago, and I came to a realization, like, it can hit any of us at any moment. And like abusers, they know when they found a female at their most vulnerable state.
yeah.
And at that particular time that he came into my life, I was at a vulnerable state. I was like 7-8 months pregnant with my first child. I was 18 years old. Like, I didn't know anything or nothing about nothing. He had me at my most vulnerable state. And that's when they start preying on you. Like, they start picking away. Cause I would never have like view myself as somebody that was sweet. I grew up with my dad. Like, I had no weak bone in me. Like, I was always assertive. I always like spoke my mind. Always was aggressive with whatever I want or said. So, but he came in and he started taking all of that away, little by little, without me even realizing it. So. And it happened, and it's like I lost my voice for the longest time, and then I became a mother, so it was like more so I was putting the needs of my kids before my own, and putting their needs before my own, meaning financially. This man was taking care of us, so if I would have left that situation, my kids would not have been taken care of. That's how I viewed it. So,
wow. So, what advice would you give to another woman that's going through what you went through?
I always say first, like, realize that you are being abused, because for the longest time I didn't realize I was being abused. Like, because it started off slow. I mean, you was in, like, with me, it started off slow. So first it was the verbal abuse, the name calling, the back and forth. Then it was the emotional abuse, and then the physical happened later. So it didn't just happen just like that. It was verbal for probably a year or two, then emotional, and then the physical abuse. Once the physical started, like, noticing the signs right then and there, and realizing that this is not okay, is the first like step to even like admitting like you're in a situation that you need to get out. Because at the end of the day, nobody back then could not tell me to leave that man. I don't tell the women that I came to leave their partner.
Absolutely. So what? That's what I'm saying. So what do you? Because I struggle with that. You know, trying to teach other people
right
to how to handle their domestic violence situation, since you know. I don't go through that. And I'm one of them people that been there, done that, and I will never. I don't even say never because things can happen. Not saying that it won't happen,
Right.
but I'm not.
But you're stronger now, and
I'm not.
You know better now.
I'm never going to go through that again. That was miserable. That was crazy. That caused my anxiety. Matter of fact, being in that relationship, I didn't start having like panic attacks and stuff until being in that.
I had to take medications.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's like and I mean it's no way like when you counsel them, what do you tell them? Like, do you tell them to seek marriage counseling?
Yeah, counseling, yes, definitely, because I did the counseling with my abuser. I mean, that just made it more clear to me, okay, I am being abused once we started the counseling. So I do advise the counseling. I do advise the individual counseling for themselves, because at the end of the day, it's something going on with us that we have not, like we said, we have not tapped into yet.
Absolutely.
So once we tap into whatever that is that we had hidden subconsciously for years, then we're able to start figuring out like what's going on. With me, like that's why I promote Love Your Damn Self, because it's like it's all about like figuring out who you are and loving you and being 100% like into you first. Because if you don't love yourself, you can't love anyone else or expect them to love you. The way that you exactly. So my counseling is centered around the individual, like basically like promoting the high self-esteem, promoting the self-care, promoting the self-healing, promoting just self, period. Not adding on that partner or whatever you're going through. It's all about you.
So with you getting marriage counseling while you were going through that,
well, we wasn't married, so counseling, couple counseling.
Okay, couples counseling. You said that. Do you think it helped him?
Oh no, he stopped counseling the third session.
Okay.
Yep, he stopped. He stopped coming. Probably the third session, second. We didn't make it forward with him.
So you working with different people. Do you think that? An abuser who goes to couples counseling can really change?
I do believe that, because like you said, I do work with different people. So if they're really into that change, I do honestly believe that they can change. Because at the end of the day, like with us, we got deep-rooted shit going on, they do too. So if they get that help that they need and really like tap into that, then I really do believe that they can change. And I am working on like developing some type of abuser intervention program within my organization, because I do believe like everybody deserves like second chances. Everybody need help. So if that, and it's not just women. It's just not men that are abusers. It's women.
I know someone.
And women abusers come to me all the time. Like, believe it or not, they do, and be like, well, are you going to provide services for us? Because I know that I have a problem, but there's no programs out here for us to help us. So it's just not men being abusers too. So I definitely believe that they can change if they want to change. I mean, I'm co-parenting with my ex that was my abuser. I mean, years later, I do see the change. I don't know particularly like if he changed, like so what, like in relationships, but I do see the change within our interaction, because for years I could not speak to this man. I couldn't even look at him. It was no like type of communication or anything. But then I realized that was hurting our child too. So I had to like change that narrative a little bit. But yeah, I definitely believe that they can change if they want to change. Just like with us. If we want to leave that relationship, then it's up to us.
And I say that only because I had different talks with different people, and I hear people say a lot, "Oh no, girl, I don't think that man is going to change. If he's an abuser and they go to counseling, I don't think that he's going to change."
No, I seen a meme the other day that said, me in a relationship with that person is not the same as that person in a relationship with a person. So I do honestly believe like different situations, different people. So I like not just putting the blame on me, because I know at the end of the day, I did not cause the abuse, I did not cause the turmoil or anything like that. But I was not that person for him. And it was something about me that escalated him and his behaviors. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, people just don't match. They just don't match at all. And I think some people bring out the worst in some people. I know I've been in relationships, I bring out the worst in that person. Absolutely. Because of the bullshit I went through with other people.
And I think that sometimes I could have provoked some things,
Right.
But I told him, like when he finally wanted to do right and start a new life, I stayed around for about 30 days. And I sat down with him. I said, you know what? I didn't want to be that woman to keep nagging,
right,
thinking he's going to do it again.
Right.
And I was just like, you know what? I think that you should start your new life with somebody else. And he talked about marriage and all of that. But at the time, I couldn't get past it. I did not believe that he changed.
And that's how it was.
Because we already went through this.
Right.
Like, I knew he was at some type of new breaking point in his life. But I was at one too where I was like, F this. This shit was so toxic. I can't believe I even went through this. Like, yeah, it was bad like that. It was bad, but I told him to start his new life with somebody else. And that's what he did. He ended up getting married, settling down, being about the kids and all that, so.
And he probably totally different with that person. Not saying that but
it's working, I guess. They still together, so that's cool. And I think that a lot of times people might have thought like I was hating or that. No, I literally told this man to go start his new life with somebody else because I wanted him to start off fresh. Right. That way he could start off with someone fresh he could start off fresh and with somebody he never abused. If you're trying to start this new life with not abusing a woman, I think that you should start off fresh with somebody else. And that's just where I was at with it.
Oh, that's true.
You know what I mean?
So we got a question from someone. What do you say to people who are scared to leave? So, again, it's all about, I don't know, because I know I probably can rerun talks in my head from different people when I was going, been there, done that. And it's like, I don't think it's any right thing you can say or wrong thing you can say to a person that's scared. Like, all I know is that I can tell people that you have support once you leave. I know it's more support now than it was when I was going through it 15 years ago. So it's like, it's resources you can link people to now. Just having that person know that it's support, because that's the main thing. That's why I started my organization, because I know I didn't feel like I had support.
Right.
Because it's like, you go to a girlfriend to disclose information. And I know with me, the person I was involved with, people knew him. Like, he was this well-known person in the community that did no wrong, outstanding, whatever. So me, like, coming forth and be like, well, this is what's going on. I had people looking at me sideways, like, well, and I had one person ask me, like, well, what did you do to provoke him? Really?
Yes.
So you don't see my black eyes, or you don't see, like, because I had like bruises on me, like every time one bruise will go away, I had another one. But you don't, okay. But I know just making sure that that person know that is support is key. Because if they don't feel like they're supported, they're not going to leave.
Right. Yeah, I remember times, well, not even times, but I would run away. I would go stay with my father or stay with my girlfriend, and then I'd be right back with his ass.
Right.
I'd be right back there
Yeah.
because that was my family.
Exactly.
And I remember one time, this was the end though. I remember when I was scared. I was scared as I don't know what. Like, oh my God, I remember hiding from him. And you know what's crazy? He came to where I was at. I was in a closet hiding, and he came to where I was at. I had my car and all that. I had to hide in the closet. I remember being scared, like, oh my God, you know, like the movie Enough.
Right.
You really be scared, like, oh my God. But the biggest thing I can tell somebody is to pray for an outlet, believe that you can really get away from that situation, because when you don't believe, I didn't believe that I could get out of that.
Right.
I thought I was stuck.
Me too.
But when you start believing, you might not, it's not about trying to figure out how it's going to get done, but just having faith that I'm going to get out of this, praying, reaching out to outlets.
Right.
And one thing I hate is when females have a family. When you got the kids, it's harder to leave when you have kids, because if I didn't have kids and I would have been in another state,
right,
on that Greyhound, on that
right,
train, I would have been gone.
But having kids
but
is a
having
whole
kids,
different story.
It's hard to get up on that train and that plane and
it's just hard to leave, period, because the kids don't understand.
And when you talk about shelter,
yeah,
and you used to live in a certain way, you know, I know people gotta do what they gotta do, but I wish that one day I can have some type of like housing or something, because I know it's hard when people hear that being in that shelter part.
And that's what I'm working on too.
You know what I mean?
That's
how a lot of people go back.
Yeah.
When they used to a guy supporting them, and they go out there and try to get it on their own with the kids and trying to figure it out, and you gotta stay in a shelter.
And the shelters are not good.
And I haven't experienced that, but I was almost there. I was literally almost. I remember living with my sister, and I'm like, yo, I can't do this. And so that feeling, knowing that you gotta go into a shelter, that's what stagnates these women. You know what I mean?
Because like you said, I know I was used to being supported. I'm not even gonna lie, I was spoiled. So I was just used to not working and getting money. Like that's the way it was. And then like I had 2 little kids. The thought of me financially supporting them on my own, and I was still in college, I was like, oh no, I can't do this on my own. And then I was scared to go to my father to even tell him. Like when I told my father years later of what happened, like he cried and he was like, I cannot believe you kept this from me. Like, why would you keep this from me? Because that means my father would have killed him. Like, yeah, like that's why. So I kept it up. Like he kept me away from my family for years. Like, and like no one did even like put up a fight about it or like say like, what is going on with her? Like, I ain't go around family. Like I lost so many friendships. Like he kept me like so like sheltered to the point like I could not reach out to anyone if I even tried
to. And you know what, it is crazy because you can go to your mother or certain people in your family, and we so used to growing up with the abuse in the family, like they just push it under the rug, like, oh, you'll be okay.
Right.
Not, girl, you can come stay with me.
Exactly.
You know, it's just
and
like,
that's why I said
they'll
get support, like people knowing that they supported.
Support, because I mean, I remember my mother she didn't really have no guidance for me. You know, it was just.
Is it because she never went through it or she's been through it?
She's been through it.
Yeah, so
you know.
She's been through it.
So she didn't have really much to say, and I can't say that he kept me away from my family. It was just that my family was so separated that
nobody wasn't close.
We none of us was close. So that's why I clinged around so long to my baby father, because their family was so together. Even to this day, all of them are tight, and I thought that that's what I was missing for years. So when I was around them, I loved
felt
it.
like family.
You get what I'm saying? Because that's what I was missing. So that's another reason why it was hard. Because I'm like, where am I going to go?
Right.
Where am I going to go? Times I ran away and went to my mother's house, it was just, I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't feel wanted there with my children. So it's important to have that support. And if you don't have the support from your family, it's good to reach out to the resources that are out here.
You got the House of Brew. I know in Columbia they have Hope Works. That's a great, Howard County, that's a great organization as well.
Do you have to live in Howard County?
I believe so. There's other, I'm a postal resource. See, that's the tricky question. Because I think if you're homeless, it's a way around it. Okay. I know me, because that's what I work with, the homeless population. So it's always a way around that when they're homeless, because they don't have like a county to claim or a city to claim.
Right.
So, I mean, I have worked with a case that she fled from one state to the next. Mm-hmm. So, because she was leaving her domestic, and we was able to help her because she was homeless. So, yeah. So it is ways around that. I'm gonna throw out some.
And people definitely don't be scared to speak to a therapist.
Yes, that is so important. Like, oh my God, like I've never experienced like grief the way that I'm experiencing it now. Mm-hmm. So like, it's like, I think I was telling my girlfriend a couple of days ago, like, I need to call my therapist. Like, because I felt myself like just going like backwards. Like, I had no like in me whatsoever. And it's like, but the fact that I knew like right then and there, like I need my therapist, like that, my therapist is my family. Like I'm calling him, like I get on his nerves, but because he be like, because when you're in the same profession, he just be like, what are you doing here? He was like, you do your whole care plan for me. You don't listen to a word I say. Like, what is my purpose in your life? I'm like, to listen to me. But now he's serving all of his purpose right now. Because I'm like, all right, come on. Give me your little activities. Let me work on this. But I always like promote like therapy, because us as Black people in general, it's like, it's something about us not wanting to speak to people.
Strangers.
Right. And it's like, okay, you can't talk to your loved ones. You can't talk to like your family. So, okay.
You just keep it all about them.
Yeah, until you have a nervous breakdown. And yeah, like, no, speaking to a therapist is important for both, like, we're talking about domestic violence and breast cancer too. Like, when you're going through that, like, I was with my mom when she went through the whole, like, fiasco of cancer, breast cancer once, and then she turned around and got diagnosed with colon cancer. So I was there through all the chemo treatments, all of the radiation, all of the appointments, and I had to tell my mother, like, you need to go to counseling, and I need to go with you, because this is a drain on me, and this is also draining you. And she started seeing her therapist even more. I found a support group for her, which was amazing.
That's another thing. The support groups. Support groups are people who are experiencing the same thing as you, and you guys can come together and talk about your issues and relate. Because when you keep trying to talk to your friends that aren't going through the same things that you're going through,
it's like hitting a dead end. Like it is. So it's like, even if you don't want to talk to a therapist like right then and there, like support, I recommend support groups first, because it's like you said, like it's a group of people that went through the same thing that you went through. It's no judgment zone. Everyone is there to support, to listen to you, to give suggestions and all of that. So I mean, I suggest that type of setting too. And it, like, sometimes they even sit and just listen to other people's stories will give you some type of like relief. Because you'll be like thinking you're the only person going through this, and then you listen to other people's stories like, oh my God, like, okay, I'm not the only one. So I think that's important as well.
Absolutely. I think so too.
So I'm gonna throw out some stats for we talked a lot about domestic violence, but with breast cancer, according to the National Breast Cancer Foundation, common symptoms, and please get your mammograms. Like, I don't even understand. Like, I get mine. It's like, you get your mammogram? No. Okay. Because I see your face. I get mine. They are not as painful as people proclaim they are. Maybe because I got boobs.
I thought you were supposed to get them at a certain age. So educate me.
Well, I know I was able to get mine because of my mom being diagnosed at a young age in her 40s. So my doctor started me getting mammograms at 30.
Okay.
So like if it's a family history, like your mom or sister or something like that, then yes, your insurance will improve you to start getting mammograms early. So you definitely need to talk to your GYN about that, because I don't play about my health. I'm at the doctor's every 6 months. I don't play. So, and plus, like, I'm knocking on 40. Like, I'll be 40 next year. So I'm definitely not playing with my health. So not at all. I need to live. But yeah, so that's how I was able to start mine at 30. I think, I don't know what the age is. I'm going to find it out. But I want to say like 35, 40.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
Yeah, 35, 40. But because of my mom's history, I went, and then she got colon cancer. So I'm supposed to get a colonoscopy like next year because of her being diagnosed with it. So I use that family thing. Yeah.
I have about 3 more years.
Oh, okay. But doing your breast exam yourself, like making sure you check your boobs, get your partner check your boobs with you. Be in the shower, check your boobs. Like, check your boobs all the time. Like, check them. Feel yourself. You let them feel you. You feel you.
Because the sooner the better, right?
Yeah, because, and I say this because I had a girlfriend. She was diagnosed at 26. And I remember her like telling me one day, like she came up to me and she was like, I felt this lump in my breast, and she was so calm about it. And I was like, that's not good. And I think she was 26, so I was like 31. I was like, that's not good. You need to go get that checked out. And I think at the time, because she was 26, she didn't take it seriously, like, oh, maybe it's just like a bump or something like that. So she let it go on and on and on until finally it started getting bigger. And she went and got it checked. And when she got it checked, stage 3. So had to go through the chemo, the radiation, everything, all of it, like all of it. Unfortunately, she passed away a year ago. But she lived until she was 32, had a beautiful daughter when they told her she would not be able to conceive after the chemo and everything. So she had a beautiful daughter. But that's why I promote like the breast exams at least. If your insurance is not approving to do the mammograms, check your boobs constantly. I'm constantly feeling myself like. But common symptoms of breast cancer include swelling in one section of your breast. A lump may or may not be present. Sometimes you may not feel the lump because they're so deep and benign. Dimpling or irritation of the skin. Some compare this to the look of an orange peel. Pain in a nipple or breast. Discharge from the breast, not a result of breast milk. The nipple turns inward or retracts. Thickening of skin on the nipple or breast. The affected skin is scaly or red. That was some of the common symptoms from the National Breast Cancer Foundation.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. And I don't know, like, that's why I eat the way I do. I'm vegetarian. So that's a whole nother, like, about exercising. Like, with all of this COVID stuff coming, like, going around too, like, that just prompted me to, like, become even more healthier. Like I was always like exercising and eating right and stuff, but now I'm going even harder with it, like exercising more, eating more, pumping vitamins in me more. So just keeping up with our health in general, because I know I have 5 kids. So my life, like for the longest, it was about them. Forget me. Like I could go 24 hours and not eat. But my baby's they have ate all 3 of their meals. Like they they did their schoolwork. I got them to practice. They did this. And at the end of the day, I'm just sitting there and I'm so exhausted. I go to sleep. Like,
you gotta take care of yourself.
And it's like we do not focus on ourselves at all, and we need to stop that. Like we have to put ourselves first, because we have to be here for these kids. And I realized how much of a good job I have done when all of my kids surround me all last week. Like, you want to eat? Here. You want this? What are you doing? Like, every 5 minutes they checking, you good? Do you need anything? I'm like, that was the first time. Like, I was taken care of. I was like, this is amazing. So,
yeah. We gotta take care of ourselves, because I said I'm gonna exercise more, because just recently I had experienced some bad back pain.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I think this is coming from working from home. You know,
yeah.
when I was in the clinic, you know, I did a lot of walking around the building, walking to my car. Now I'm not doing none of that, so I'm like, I'm about to start exercising. I'm gonna walk every day, do about 2 hours.
I cannot start my day without taking a walk or run. Like I literally, and I'm even running. I run probably like 2-3 miles every morning, or I will walk like 5 miles.
Wow.
Yeah, like, and this has been routine, because before all of this hit, it was me hitting the gym like every day. Like I would hit the gym real early in the morning, then go to the office. And then, because I was training to be police anyway, so I had to like hit the gym. But that became a routine for me, and it's like, okay, I gotta keep on with that routine. And it also helped with my mental health, because
that too.
Yeah.
Now that mental health, definitely exercising, meditating.
Yes.
A lot of people don't really know what meditation is, but
we can't stay still for 5 minutes.
And it's just like, it is uncomfortable when you first start it, but once you can get the whiff of it, it's an amazing thing.
It is.
To just have a calm, set mind. Meditation is everything. Like, I've had some great results from meditation.
Yoga though.
Me too.
Yeah, I definitely want to try that. I said I want to look into that. I do meditation all the time. Like, if I don't, I'm gonna go crazy.
Right. And people gotta realize, you know, exercising is good. People think that, you know, small. I'm telling you, by me being small, I could be like, yeah, I need to go exercise. I need to get rid of this stuff. And they be like, what you need to exercise?
I hate that.
You don't have to be fat. You don't have to be fat to exercise.
No, you don't.
We still need to exercise no matter what size you are to be healthy.
Yeah.
You know, and
you gotta
mental.
keep that your blood flowing in your, because I'll tell you, I'm small, but I was lazy. I didn't know how lazy I was until I started training. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. My heart rate was terrible. I was like, oh my God, I cannot breathe. I was like, this is not right at
One day I
all.
was on the treadmill with my homegirl. I'm like, oh, just do the treadmill. That's easy.
Trees.
Woo, I got off that thing. I thought I was going to pass out. I was like, oh my God, I'm really out of shape.
Yeah, you can be out of shape no matter what size. Because I know bigger people that are in shape.
Right.
They exercise. They have a great heart. My heart is trash.
And that's another thing, having a support group.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
Me trying to exercise and I'm not around other people who exercise like that, it's like, ugh, like I don't have that motivation, because that's one of my weaknesses, you know, but I want to get better with that.
Yeah.
I do.
Oh, stick with me. I exercise, because if I don't,
I'm ready to call you like, come exercise with you, seriously.
Yes.
Seriously. So,
what else do we, so yeah. Oh yeah, a fun fact, because I usually do fun facts. So I had Google, and it's 105 awareness raising campaigns we celebrate in October alone.
Really?
Yep. So like some of them include Down Syndrome Awareness Month, LGBT History Month, well, of course, Domestic Violence Month, National Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Month, World Menopause Month, and Breast Cancer Awareness Month, to name a few. But it's 105 awareness campaigns we celebrate in October alone. And I was trying to figure out like why they chose October, because it seemed like, oh, it was lupus. I think I saw sickle cell awareness. So I was trying to figure out like why October is designated for all of these health awareness like campaigns. So if anybody listening, please feel free to let me know why, because I could not figure out like why October was the designated month for all of it.
That's a good question. Wow.
So do you want to share anything else about like mental health, or like just keeping us as women like sane? And
one of the things with what you just now said, it made me think about seasonal depression. Like, be aware when the seasons change. Be aware of your friends who suffer from seasonal depression. If your friend is just moody out of nowhere or acting different, it might be because they are struggling with seasonal depression. I go through that as well, like when the seasons change or when holidays come. It's just this feeling that I get every time. But being aware of the symptoms. If you see a friend or yourself sleeping too much, or not sleeping enough, like you really cannot go to sleep, excessive eating, not eating, anything that doesn't have a balance to it, moodiness, like really just zapping out on you over something small, right? That's when you should be concerned, like, this is not how my friend usually acts, different behaviors, that they're indulging in liquor too much, check on your friends and be like, yo, wait a minute, this not you, what's going on?
But I go back to that support and like doing a girlfriend check. We don't do that enough. Like, I have an amazing fucking circle. Because when I tell you, like, they checked on me, like, they still are checking on me. Like, if let me not answer the phone, they're knocking at my door. Like, that's the type of circle that I have. Like, it's so amazing to have, like, to develop that type of circle of friends. Because you have people, they're there, but they're not there. And you have the people that they're going, like, knocking on my door. Like, my friends will knock on my door if I don't answer like, I'm not even kidding. Like, first they will call my kids, they will call my ex-husband, nobody don't answer, they come into my house.
and like I said, that's good, because sometimes we go without, checking on our friends and something crazy happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So definitely doing a girlfriend check. Yeah. And then like looking out for the signs, like you said, because most of us be so like in tune and intertwined with ourselves. And then we have a girlfriend that lashes out. And then we like, oh, F her then. Like, I ain't dealing with that today. And we just leave it alone and don't even like figure out like, okay, what's going on with her, or can I help, or do you need to talk? Like, we just walk away, and we gotta stop doing that. We really do.
And that's the thing too, just having the lines of communication open with all friendships, not being one-sided.
Right.
Not being one-sided.
Because friendships are just as important as I treat them as like relationship. Like, I'm in a relationship.
Right. Because it is. It is a relationship.
It definitely is. And knowing what relationship is not beneficial to you anymore too, because that can be a drain, all of it itself, on your mental health. Right. So really letting go of that toxic.
And with mental health, it's good to seek the help that you need before it gets bad. Like, you could be going through something and you just letting it just go by. You know you need to heal from the situation, but you just keep on bottling it up. And then next thing you know, you having an anxiety attack, you having a panic attack, and you trying to figure out what's going on. It's because you've been overwhelming yourself with this, that, holding on to this and that when you never released it.
Right.
You know, and you wait so long, and then next thing you know, you're in the psychiatric ward.
And that's because me and my daughter was having a talk, and I was telling her, like, I was disclosing the other day how I've been having like panic attacks again. So she was like, "How do that feel like?" And I was like, "Well, it feel like someone is squeezing my heart excessively. Like, it's like just cringing, and the pain won't stop, like a mini heart attack." And she was like, "I've been having that lately." And I'm like, "Why you ain't say anything?" She was like, "I just didn't know that was what it was." Like, she was like, "I didn't know." And it was all from her grandfather passing. So,
yeah. And when something traumatic happens in someone's life, domestic violence will send you in a panic attack.
Yeah.
Death will send you in a panic attack. Car accidents, too. That's another thing.
Post-traumatic stress.
That. I'm trying to think of another one.
Exactly.
School.
Oh yeah, definitely.
School. A lot of people, college students, you know, they're trying to balance school, work, figuring out life, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
and that's how she is, because she's trying to figure, because she in her second year, she pre-med. I'm like, I don't know what you figuring out. I'm the one that should be having anxiety attacks.
Some people don't know, but that's when your heart is racing,
right.
And you just got this feeling. Like, if you never had one before, you don't know this feeling.
No, it's
and it's something you can't really describe.
No, you can't, because it's
Usually they don't last more than 5 minutes. So.
No, they don't, and they hit you unexpectedly. Mine's been hitting me unexpectedly lately. Like, I could just be sitting there, and then all of a sudden, like, I start like feeling panicky, and I'm like, oh my god. So like with me, like, I will like calm myself down by like meditating and like taking slow deep breaths and like counting, like
a good one. Counting down,
to like calm myself down, because like I started having panic attacks years ago after the domestic violence situation. So like I know the signs and symptoms, and like I learned different techniques throughout the years to like help me like get through it. And this is the first time in a long time I had one, so I was like, oh no, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
So
see, and it's good when you know what's going on, so you can catch it. You know what I mean? So that meditation, that's a great one. The walks, the exercise, just to keep your mind off of things, because that anxiety comes from you being overwhelmed with your thoughts.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And they can't stop, and it's just freaking.
And you keep thinking about these constant things overwhelming you, and you just get this feeling. And you can get them anywhere. It does not discriminate.
No, it do not.
You can get it anywhere, on the job, driving. Yeah.
Waking up from your sleep.
Waking up from your sleep.
That happened a couple of times for me.
That the first time I ever had one, it woke me out of my sleep. I was like, whew. What was that? And then I don't know, like it was weird. Like, I just wanted to run on something, because that was my first one and I didn't know what to do. But afterwards, when you experience it, you kind of know how to try to calm yourself down.
Right.
So,
and definitely just seek help. Like, it is so important to just talk to someone, get that therapy you need. Like, if medications is needed, it's needed. I took it. I mean, it helped for the moment. It really did. Right. But like, I'm more of a natural type of person, so I look into like natural remedies, like throughout the year, holistic approaches to use over the years, and they have worked as well. But don't think that you can just get through it alone, because it's not feasible.
And that's another thing, because I've heard different stories where people, you know, they might be on medications, but people get scared of medications, and it's like, it's not to say that it's going to be something permanent.
No, it's not. Because like I said, like I think I was on medications for probably like 2-3 years. And then like I kind of weaned myself off, and like therapy really helped. I've been going to therapy for years, and me being in the mental health field, they like school, like they tell us we gotta do therapy because we're dealing with other people's problems. It's adding on to the problems that we have, and then like they suggest we do therapy anyway while we're in graduate school to tap into whatever issues we got going on, because then we don't want that to spill over into our approach with our future clients. So we need to first like tackle what's going on with us, which I think is an amazing like idea, because like as professionals, not knowing that our problems going to spill over to other people, but it do, like our unbiased opinions, all of that, like the stereotyping, all of that, like subconsciously it be in the back of our mind and we don't even know it. So definitely like figuring out us first. So therapy will really help. And I will promote it all day long. Like we need it.
Absolutely, because I was kind of having a bad day last week, and knowing when to take off of work. Some people are scared to take off of work. Some people are scared to take breaks from school. It's okay to take a break, you know.
And I hope people know that you are entitled to mental health days.
That too.
No, you are.
No, yeah, I'm saying
your employer cannot like deny it to you.
That too, because I was having a bad day, and this lady ticked me off over the phone. Medicare representative, and how she was talking, I usually know how to hold my composure and might kill somebody with kindness, and might, you know, got smart back with her in a professional way. But I had to let her know something. I was like, excuse me, you know, and I had to catch myself. I apologized to the client when I got off the phone. After I got off the phone with her, I was like, I called my supervisor, like, can I have the rest of the day off? Because I can't believe that I let that lady get to me. And I said, something else is going on. If I did all that, risking my job, I was like, yeah, let me.
Do you think it's the stress of working from home now? Because I know that's been more stressful for me than going into the and then I have a child at home, I'm homeschooling. So it's extra stressful.
Maybe everybody, like, I felt like the supervisor, like, my supervisor had told us if we're late clocking in, to make sure that we email her. And I happened to be late clocking in, but I didn't email her until 11 o'clock. Then she emailed me and said, just for future reference, you have to email me as soon as you clock in. And I was just irritated. And it could have been me.
Yeah,
it could have been her just doing her job, but I felt like it was petty, or she was nitpicking.
Right.
And she might not have been nitpicking, but that's how I took it. And I was just like, then I got small with the lady. I was like, maybe it's me. Maybe I just need a day off. Because why did I let something so small like that get to me?
Right.
Like, so.
But you probably needed a day off.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because now I'm back and refreshed.
Yeah. That's all you need. Well, I thank you so much for joining me today. This was an awesome conversation. I hope all our listeners got at least something out of this. I'm going to continue this girl series in 2 weeks. We're going to talk about sexual health. I'm going to bring in, I call her the sex doctor because she's amazing. But she's going to talk about everything as far as sexual health for men and women, especially us women. Because I be loving how she be posting stuff about like orgasms, like just like it's good for your mental health. I was like, really? So,
yes, that's another thing. Oh my God, I should have said that. The mental health.
That's
sex.
alone,
Sex, like it's not safe sex. Let me say that.
Yeah.
Safe sex. Sex is good for anxiety, depression. I'm telling you, that release that you get from it, you be good.
Right.
You be good.
Yeah, so we're gonna tap into that for women in 2 weeks. So that should be exciting. But you want to say something that in us?
You guys can follow us at Smile for Baltimore on Instagram. And if you guys need any support, any resources, any tips, you can always DM us. So that's Smile number 4, Baltimore.
And I have my women's organization, Women at a Stand. We're on Facebook and we're on Instagram. Follow both pages. If you have any questions, concerns, or just need some guidance, you can reach out to me. I have a website that's on the page, www.womenatastand.com. I have an event coming up on October 26th. I'm doing a free self-defense class with this amazing instructor. We're going to do it for an hour. This is going to be a recurring event because I think learning how to defend ourselves is key. So this is going to be on October 26th. It's a Monday, 7 to 8. You have to register through Eventbrite to secure your spot. I'm only taking 20 women. I think we're close to it. I'm not sure. But just follow my pages to keep up with the events I'm doing while I was doing a hygiene drive. So this month I will be donating hygiene products to a shelter. So, and I'm gonna hopefully hit my gala in February with all this COVID stuff. I don't know.
Okay.
But I need to start planning that. So I will keep y'all updated. But thank y'all so much for joining us today. Join us in 2 weeks. It's gonna be me and Asia baby birthdays. Both our birthdays are on Halloween. It's so much. That's so ironic, but we will be celebrating with y'all with our sex talk. We're gonna have a live audience, so it should be amazing. So remember to keep loving yourself and just remember, take care of you, live unapologetically, live for you. Be happy. It's